Okay guys, round 3, here we go. We are going to start off with a monster fraction problem so that we can review every single type of rule that is equated with solving any problem with fractions. Okay, so in this one problem, we're going to review addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and something that's called a nested fraction, which is what you see here, a fraction within a fraction. So we're going to simplify this whole thing, pointing out the different steps, so that when we start adding in x's, we remember that these rules stay the same. So first thing that I'm going to do is try to simplify the numerator if I can. I have addition happening. So with addition and subtraction, I need to make sure that I get a common denominator first. So in order to get this common denominator, this plus 4 is really like saying 4 over 1. So then I need to get the 1 and the 3 to be the same, right? The least common multiple, or the first number that we can multiply by to get, is 3. So I'm going to multiply the top and the bottom by this one by 3. And then this I don't have to mess with because the denominator is already 3. So I'm going to have 2 over 3 plus 12 over 3, multiplying this 4 and this 3, which gives me 14 over 3 as my new numerator. Now I'm going to do the same to the bottom and get a common denominator here. This one they have different denominators, both of them, and I can't multiply 5 to be 6 or 6 to be 5. The first number that I'm going to hit that they both have as a multiple is going to be 30. So I'm going to multiply this one to get 30. I would have to do 6 over 6, and this one I would have to get 5 over 5. So I would then get 5 over 30 plus, minus 6 over 30, which gives me negative 1 over 30. Okay. If you have questions about that, go on to Khan Academy and watch a video on adding or subtracting fractions. Now we're going to move on to simplifying nested fractions, which is essentially just dividing. So I'm going to have 14 over 3 over negative 1 over 30. Okay. We say over because that's where the number is situated, but the more academically correct way to think about it is you're actually dividing, right? A fraction is division. So this is really saying 14 over 3 divided by negative 1 over 30. So I can rewrite a nested fraction as a division problem because this fraction bar really means divide. Now, review of dividing fractions. When we divide fractions, I want to keep the first fraction the same, and I want to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay? And we learned a little thing in elementary school or middle school whenever you learn fractions, the keep, change, flip. That's what this is, but really the academic way to say that is multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to take 14 over 3, and I'm going to change it into multiplication, and I'm going to flip this upside down. That's what the reciprocal is. It means to switch the numerator and the denominator. So this would become negative 30 over 1. Okay. Notice I kept the negative on the top here. You can keep the negative on the top or on the side, but grammatically it's incorrect to keep it on the bottom. And it means the same value either way. So we want to make sure that we are writing it correctly and changing it to the top or putting it in the front. Okay. Now, I could just multiply straight across, but I'm going to get a big number. So first, especially in calculus, we're going to get a lot of big numbers, and it's going to be to our benefit if we can try to simplify everything first. So thinking about 30 is really the same as 3 times 10. Okay? So if I break 30 down into 3 and 10, I have a 3 down here and a 3 up here. Those can divide out to be 1, or like we like to say is just canceling it out. Okay? But really they're dividing to be 1. Then I have what's left. I can't simplify anything else. I have 14 times negative 10. Hopefully you know that quick trick with tens is that you just add a 0 at the end, right? So this would be negative 140. So let's look back and review all of the different steps that we took because we're going to use them again when we make these things more complicated. For addition, we need the same denominator, or common denominator. Okay. For nested fractions, that fraction bar really means divide, so we rewrite it as divide. Okay. And then for division, we want to multiply by the reciprocal. Okay, so within this one monster fraction problem, we reviewed adding fractions, subtracting fractions, which is the same process, right? Getting that common denominator. Learned about nested fractions, which really is just a division problem. Remember that in dividing, we multiply by the reciprocal, so we flip the second one, change it to multiplication. And then here we did simplifying. We broke things into factors, and we canceled out anything that was in common. And then we get our final answer.